meditators. So let's meditate for a few moments. And those of you that are not meditators, sit back, relax, and enjoy the vibration. Open your eyes slowly. You might be wondering why I greet you in this way. It actually means that by thought, word, and deed, I salute the divinities in you. Now, as a rule, never prepare. As a rule, never prepare a talk. So what we are going to do this evening is you ask me any questions you like, and then we'll have a discourse on it. But before we do that, we are going to do the pranayama practice. I'll lead you into the practice, which is very simple. You breathe in to the count of 4, and you retain the breath to the count of 16, and you exhale to the count of 8. Now the most important part is the exhalation, letting the wind out. That is where the greatest amount of control is required. I will later, as we go on this evening, I will explain you the benefits of this practice. So let us do it first. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. 1, 2, 15, 16. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe normally. Inhale again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe normally. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Retain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe normally. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe normally. Now breathe in and out fast, like panting. Breathe normally. Open your eyes slowly. Fine. So this is called pranayama, which means control of the breath. Breath being the life force of oneself, if it is brought into a rhythm, it regenerates your entire system. After you have a stressful day, for example, you will find that doing this about 3 times a day, half a dozen times each time, you will find some great relaxation pouring into you. And when your body becomes more relaxed and more calmer, you feel less of strain and less of stress. Not only that, with this calmness that is brought into the mind, you perform all your activities in a more coherent manner. Now, if you could stand outside the universe, you'll find that the universe would be pulsating, and it would be pulsating at the same actually doing by doing this very simple practice, which is not meditation really, by doing this very simple practice, you are tuning yourself to the universe. By this very simple practice, you draw upon yourself those universal energies which we could call divine energies. Good. Now, ask any question you like and we can discuss it. We haven't quite a hot day, isn't it?
Is it a certain number of time you're supposed to do this breathing exercise? So much, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yes. Afternoon, morning, afternoon, and evening. It will bring great relaxation.
5 minutes?
5 to 10 minutes. Just don't overstrain yourself.
So you say your inhale
To the count of 4, retain the breath to the count of 16, and exhale to the count of 8. Now, why greater control is required in exhalation is this, that by exhalation you are expelling toxins in your body. And when exhalation becomes complete, inhalation becomes easy. So, all bodies have certain kind of toxins in them, and this is one way how to get rid of toxins. It's a science, as I said, called pranayama, which has been in existence for thousands of years, many thousands of years. Any questions you'd like to ask me about any problem, you could go into it.
Well, I never touched about the problem. I want to know where and who, when did meditation existed? How was how did it first come about?
Meditation started existing thousands of years ago when man assumed his human form. Man has always required to meditate. He might have been doing it unconsciously, but now there are methods whereby he can do it very consciously. What happens in the process is this, that from the conscious level of your mind, you enter the deeper levels of the subconscious mind, and then to that calm area which I call the superconscious mind. And when through a systematic, individualized process, one enters the area of the superconscious mind, you draw from it the various energies that are there, divine energies, and you allow these energies to permeate your subconscious mind, your mind, and your body. By doing this, stress is released. You become tranquil, you become more gentle, you feel an inner peace, the kingdom of heaven within. You find that peace permeating your daily actions. So, the more people start meditating, will there be less conflict in the world. And conflict is caused by the 3 levels of the mind not functioning in an integrated manner. In other words, the ordinary man functions very fragmentedly. And it is this fragmentation that causes the conflicts of life. And if we can strengthen ourselves through these meditational and spiritual practices, we would be in a much better position to accept what life has given us. life has always given us joy. Inherently, the inner force within you is joy, but because of the fragmentation of man's mind, he does not experience joy. And when he does not experience joy, then he tries to find some kind of joy. And that kind of joy, instead of finding it within himself, he tries to find it externally through various kinds of deeds. So they could be good deeds or bad deeds or whatever. That is not important. But his entire being is focused outwardly instead of inwardly, where the real peace lies. Now, my dear brothers, as I said before when I greeted you, that you are children of God. You are divinity incarnate. That divine force is within you all the time. If we believe divinity to be omnipresent, being present everywhere, then that divinity is present in every cell of your body. So, you are living gods. Never mind what society says. Never mind what they say, because whatever society says is a projection of their own minds, and not you, for who can really judge you? Judge ye not, that ye be judged. No man is capable of judging another man. But we that may have been victims of circumstances, many things society has inflicted upon us, and many times it is a very unjust infliction. But now, if we are placed in certain circumstances, what do? We try and accept the circumstance and make the best of it. Now, how do we make the best of it? Is by becoming integrated people. I wish I could live here. It will be a good chance for me to practice deeper and deeper meditations. What a great opportunity in disguise. For everything, every adversity contains some opportunity, and it is for us to realize that opportunity. There's a very favorite saying of mine: 2 men behind prison bars, one saw mud, the other saw stars. So wherever we are, we have the capacity, we have the ability in us to see the glory, to see the stars, instead of seeing the mud. So, 2 men in the same circumstances, none different, in the same cell, and after all, life itself is a prison. The prison does not require 4 walls. Life itself is a prison to 99.999% of human beings. They have imprisoned themselves within various conflicts that are in them. I'll tell you a little story. There was a guru, and this guru, whenever he saw a policeman, what do you call them here, cops? Whenever he saw a cop nearby, he used to take a stone and break a window. Little minor things he used to do, and used to get arrested. And he used to be put in jail, incarcerated. So one day, some of his close jailers asked him, they say, "You are such a great master, you are such a great guru, and it is not nice that every month or so you land up in jail." So what did the Guru reply? The Guru says to his chelas that outside here there might be many teachers. I'm more needed inside to teach the message of love and joy, which, as I said just now, is your real nature. Your real nature's joy. And by finding the integration of mind, body and spirit, wherever you are, you can still be joyful. But there is one thing, that most of us here never live in the present. We live in the past. The mind is filled with various kinds of memories. The mind is filled with various kinds of deeds, our families, our friends. The mind is filled with it all the time. And then we project those memories into the future. So where are you now? You are not here. The secret of life is to be here and now. You heard the word nowhere. Just shift the W to one side, to the left, and it becomes now here. So that is what we learn from life, in whichever circumstance we are in, that I am here. I am divine. I am the product of divinity. And every cell of my body contains that divine essence, contains that divinity. So why should I not live this life joyfully? Enjoy the joy. Enjoy the joy, wherever you are. A guru living in the Himalayas, in the snows, in a little cave, he also enjoys the joy. For after all, what do you really possess? Nothing. You possess nothing because you cannot even possess yourself. You do not possess buildings, you do not possess wives or children, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers. They are there, but they are not your possession. So when we are in certain circumstances, let the mind not dwell on possessions. Let the mind not even dwell upon yourself, but become a part of the environment. Look at the trees. Enjoy the beautiful wind blowing its divine symphony through the leaves. Look at the grass dancing and swaying in the breeze. Enjoy the flowers that are so beautiful outside here as I entered in. For you too are as beautiful as those flowers. And when through proper meditational practices, you find that integration within yourself, then you become like that flower. You bloom. For your nature is beauty. The nature of the flower is beauty. And that is not all that you do. You also enhance the beauty of the garden. So that is how you make life beautiful wherever you are. We learn so many lessons from life. That's what they tell us. But this is outside knowledge. If someone tells me or tells you that you are suffering, who says you are suffering? With the proper perspective with the proper attitude towards life, you are not suffering, and your life can become an offering to the divine, offering to your brothers that live here in this institution. So, how to become loved? How can you make someone love you? Is to become lovable. And this takes away tensions from you, rids you of past memories. It stops you from projecting yourself into the future, and you live here and now until it is required. Four, there is freedom in bondage. There is freedom in bondage, and there is bondage in freedom. That is why I said a moment ago that 99% of the world's population live in the prisons that they have created for themselves. They've built the walls around themselves and created their own prisons. We here are more fortunate. We are more fortunate. Let's take the example of people that are insane. Do you know that there are more insane, unbalanced people outside a lunatic asylum than inside a lunatic asylum? Unbalance, no balance, imbalance. And that is the cause of all the ills of our society. And because of the ills of society, many of us become victims of those ills, and not because of our fault. Not because of us. Many times, because lacking the integration, we are forced into certain things that normally we would not like to do. So we are victims of circumstances. But having become victims of circumstances over which we have no control, what are we to do? One simple solution, and I envy all of you that has more time than the people outside to be able to meditate, to find that integration of mind, body and spirit. For mind, body and spirit is not separate from each other. It is one continuum. The body at a grosser level, to the mind at a more subtler level, and the spirit within man at its most subtlest level. One continuum which is inseparable. So this knowledge of meditation has been taught for thousands and thousands of years since man started thinking. And that is where troubles began, when he started thinking. That is where troubles began. And when he found conflicting thoughts within himself, he tried to find a remedy for it. At first, he externalized his thoughts. He made things like river gods and rain gods and tree gods and all kinds of gods. But then he was still not satisfied. So where could he go when he searched so much outside to find a solution to the problems which he has brought about by his own thoughts? He could only go in, and going in is meditation. Now, there are many systems of meditation. Some systems are very generalized. The type of system that I teach is individualized. I do not believe that one bottle of medicine cures every disease. It could cause harm. But if you have a shelf full of medicines and a spiritual master or a physician comes along and tells you, this is the medicine you must use to rid yourself of the ills, then you will cure yourself quicker, or that medicine will help you heal yourself quicker. It will expedite the process. So, as we become more integrated through meditation and spiritual practices, we will find our thoughts changing. We will find that our thoughts will not be as violent as they were before. Because of this integrated self, you open the heart opens, and when the heart opens, it joins hands with the mind. So that the power flowing from the heart, that power of love that flows from your inner being, permeates the mind, infiltrates the mind, so your thinking becomes finer, and when your thinking becomes finer, it becomes less and less aggressive, and more loving. Because the mind cannot remain a vacuum. It has to be filled with something, and the choice is ours what to fill it with. So here we have a great opportunity. The great opportunity to develop that inner quality that is within us already. My organization is called the International Foundation for Spiritual Unfoldment. Remember the word unfoldment, established around the world. Unfoldment, not development, not spiritual development. For you are fully developed as you are. You are children of divinity, you are divine. That is the thought forever to be remembered. And when that thought is remembered, then our actions assume a different perspective. Presently we might see through a very narrow slit in the wall, but when we are more integrated, our vision expands. It means we develop a greater awareness of what life is all about, of what the environment is all about, and how we can relate ourselves to the environment and not be influenced by the environment. The whole world today is influenced by environment. The whole world. Why do people use Colgate soap, Colgate toothpaste? You know why? Because it is thrown to them all the time through the newspapers and through TV. Colgate toothpaste is best. Colgate toothpaste is best. And that is why we use Colgate toothpaste. So we are not thinking beings. We think that we think. But we really have to start thinking. And when the integrated person that has moved away from fragmentation, when he starts thinking, then that thinking becomes creative and not destructive. Here you have this beautiful board there. Be as a child. How beautiful. How How beautiful. What does it mean to be as a child? Have the innocence of the child. And a child is never cruel or unkind. The child is non-violent. The child is not aggressive because of his innocence. So, when we become integrated, we become childlike. And by being childlike, we not only improve the standard of ourselves, the standard of our living, but also all our relationships. A child is not revengeful. It does not know the meaning of revenge. The child can forgive. The child has compassion inborn. It is only when the child starts growing up and society starts inflicting itself upon the child is the real human value of man lost. So we are in a society that tries to do good, and yet they are doing it the wrong way. Educate the child in such a way that it will retain its innocence. Educate him in such a way where all his needs will be provided for. Where all his needs will be provided for, and nothing is needed from anyone else. Nothing is needed. Nothing can be grabbed from anyone else, because you are full within yourself. Full and not foolish. You see the beauty of life. Life is but a joy, and everything around us is composed of that joy, which we must enjoy. So to repeat again, to move away from fragmentation, we move to integration and live a full life filled with what we really are. We really are divine. A man must never live in the past. The greatest disease today is not heart disease. The greatest disease today is not cancer, but the greatest disease today that eats you up inside is a sense of guilt. Why must man have a sense of guilt? Is it going to make him feel better? No. It would gnaw at his very entrails. The past is the past. You cannot undo it. The future might never come. So why spoil a perfect present? Why spoil the perfect present? So, what we have to get rid of in our lives is the sense of guilt. And when we get rid of the sense of guilt, we will start understanding life far better. For the mind is now not burdened. If I have done something wrong, if I've broken into a store, or if I've done this, or if I've been violent to anyone, is it going to help me now, bringing those thoughts alive and reliving them? No. I have done that through whatever circumstance, and it is the past. What do I do about the present? When we develop these thoughts, and these thoughts will come automatically when we embark on a proper, systematic process of meditation. Then these negative thoughts just disappear. You can never force yourself to have positive thoughts. You can never control your mind. But you can bring other factors into your mind, like becoming more integrated, so that the negativity automatically dissipates itself, vanishes. The thoughts of revenge go, the thoughts of cruelty go, and all that which is associated with it, they just disappear. And then you will say to yourself, one day when you leave the body, you will say, well lived this life, well lived. There are greater saints in prisons than there are outside. And I've been doing a lot of work with people of various kinds. The great opportunity on how to enter the kingdom of heaven within. And entering the kingdom of heaven within, then you can truly say that whatever has happened to me in life had to happen. It had to happen. It's beyond my control. It was some way in which divinity is trying to teach me some lesson. Wider perspective, a greater sense, greater awareness, and joy comes automatically. When you make the garden beautiful, with beautiful flowers, you do not need to go and call the butterflies. They come by themselves. So in our processes, what we do is make our garden beautiful, and the butterflies come by themselves to enhance the beauty more. You know, don't make you think too hard. You might have one or two jokes. This one chap goes to his church minister, and he was a great baseball fan. So he asks the church minister that, is there baseball in heaven? So the minister replies, look, I'll have to ask God. Because this man believed he speaks to God all the time, so he can get the answer, and he would never miss any baseball match. So the minister says, come back next week, I'll ask the old chap up there. So he goes back to the next week, and the minister replies to him that yes, there is baseball in heaven, and you've also been reserved a ticket in the front row for next week's match. My beloveds, you are definitely assured of a place in heaven. And do you know why? Because life has been hell here. You can't get the same punishment twice. You see what great hope there is in life. What great hope there is. And these people, I come from South Africa, as might have been told you by the introducer. I know the sufferings of people. And when you have people like Ed and this lady here and other volunteers trying so much to make life smoother, the more joyous. It gives me a great sense of joy. It gives me a great sense of pride that someone does care. Someone does care, and you are cared for all the time. This boy was so much in love with this girl, and he was a very poor lover. So, and this girl didn't like him too much. So he says, what can I give you just for a little kiss? So the girl replies, chloroform. Yeah. So meditation is something that started since man began thinking, since man started or tried to get out of his conflicts and the mind, instead of turning outward, started turning inwardly. It's an age-old process of self-integration where the mind, body and spirit functions in a harmony. And where there is harmony, there can be no conflict. And as a result, life becomes calm, sweet, tranquil. There was this one Italian fellow who emigrated to America, and he went to his church priest. And he told the church priest that when my first son was born, I asked you to baptize him Tom, but you baptized him Thomas. Now, after 2 years, the second child is born, and I want you to baptize him Jack and not Jackass.
I had something on that.
Yes?
You had said something about past, present, and future, and you had mentioned something about the first question was about where the meditation started. You said before man took this form. My question, the thought that comes to me is like, what form was man before man took his form? Was it spirit or what? And why did man take this form for such a brief time, for a place? And what is the fate of man?
Very beautiful. Since the Big Bang, since the universal explosion, we call it the Big Bang theory, millions of particles, subatomic particles shot forth, and the process is still continuing. So from that minute particle that duplicated itself and replicated itself, it assumed various forms, right from the mineral kingdom to plant, to animal, and then to man. Now, man has been given consciousness. The animals and plants proceed in the path of evolution automatically. But man has been given the power of thought to expedite his evolution and reach back to the source from which he has come. But man, unfortunately, has used the thinking process in a wrong way, and therefore he feels all the suffering and all the miseries that he thinks of. So, suffering and misery is a product of thought. But through meditational practices, you can connect the thinking level of your mind, the conscious mind, to the super conscious level of your mind, where there is nothing else but peace, and that peace can be drawn to the conscious level, where the conscious level of the mind also becomes peaceful. Life is unending. Do not say life is 80 years and 10, for nothing in the universe is destructible. When we leave this body is not destroyed. It only disintegrates and goes back to its various elements, water to water, air to air, dust to dust. Nothing is destructible in this universe, because if something was destructible and if divinity is omnipresent, it would mean that divinity too gets destroyed. So everything is eternal and immortal, and we are in the school of life, forced upon us by the powers of evolution, and we are forever, through whatever circumstance it might be, we are progressing towards divinity all the time. And there's plenty of time. What you think now of as time is measured only by your mind. In reality, you are living in timeless time. For this body, if discarded, can assume another body again. Nothing is lost. For everyone without exception must reach home. Everyone must become one with his Maker. So, we have a whole eternity ahead of us.
Can we expedite the process?
You can expedite the process by meditational practice, where you get into tune or become in tune with your real self, your inner self, which is divinity self. Just serving your hands with you guys, which
I was just wondering, I've been trying to meditate for quite some time and I can't get beyond a certain point. Is it necessary to say the mantra, or I know you said there's different methods, but what is the basic method to get into it?
Yeah, there is no such thing as a basic method. All methods are basic, and there are thousands of them. And meditation should be prescribed by one who knows your needs. He should be able, the spiritual master should be able to penetrate right within your mind and soul, your evolutionary status, your emotional condition, and your physical condition, and then prescribe the proper kind of meditation that you might require. That is the way.
How is your teaching of love
Love,
integration
joy, and peace.
and peace? How was that received in an apartheid society like South Africa?
Yes, it is received, it is heard by those that want to hear. It is seen by those that want to see. There is a dilemma. And with our people progressing fast in the educational fields, in skilled work, and in professions, changes are gradually coming about. I am very conscious of this factor, and I personally try to do a lot to bring about what we really desire, the oneness of all humankind.
What is the supernatural?
Would you like to see the supernatural? I'm seeing him sitting in front of me. You are supernatural.
What is the purpose of the supernatural?
The purpose of the supernatural is to be itself. No other purpose. It just is. It is an isness. There is nothing supernatural. Everything is natural. I was telling someone today that if 100 years ago you told someone that a 2,000-ton machine will fly through the air, or you can pick up the telephone and speak to me 12,500 miles away in one moment, 100 years ago, they will tell you you're mad. They will regard it to be supernatural. So everything is natural and supernatural at the same time. When we do not understand the finer laws of nature, we say this is supernatural or this is a miracle. There are no such things as miracles. For supernatural could be described as divinity, and you are that. It is only because of our lack of knowledge of the finer laws that we think things are supernatural or miraculous. They are not. And man's mind, as technology increases more and more, he will find more and more subtler laws that would be unbelievable today. There is nothing supernatural that controls our destiny. Our destiny is controlled by ourselves. Our destiny in life is controlled by ourselves. It is like a knife. Give it to a surgeon and he will perform an operation and save someone's life. And give the same knife to a teddy boy and he will kill someone with it. You see. So how we use our lives and this, how we use it, depends upon how integrated or how fragmented we are. That's the secret. That's the secret of life.
Yes, that was the first thing of life, and you said something earlier about divinity, that kind of like I thinking of predestination. Here I'm getting something like we control our fate. I'm trying to see that it seems to be some ambiguity here, where there's predestination and there's where we control our destiny. And so, decipher between both.
What you are trying to say is that is there a free will and a divine will? Yes and no. It is a paradox. Your free will, divine will says you reach Washington, but your free will decide if you want to use a donkey cart or a motor car or a motor bus. So, when man becomes integrated within himself, his free will merges into divine will. So, there is predestination, an overall plan, an overall pattern within we have the liberty to function. That we call free will. But in the overall scheme of things, there is only one will, and that is divine will. What we regard to be free will is a fixture of our own imagination. We think that we have a free will, and yet you cannot even lift your hand without the force of divinity, which is divine will.
I want to ask you, are you going to tell us tonight, each one of us tonight, what form of meditation is best for us? Are you going to do that?
Yes, we can do that, but it has to be done individually.
Oh.
And we have teachers here, like Dr. Bull Aycock sitting over there, who is an attorney by profession. He is one of our teachers here. Then Randy Hansen, who's also a attorney by profession. He is another one of our teachers here. And in cooperation with the project that you are involved in, we would just be too happy to assist in whichever way you want. Vidya, she is a psychologist by profession, but she's not here in Washington. She's in Chicago. She runs the Chicago Center. And then we have other teachers here, Jerry Green, a lovely lady, and that we're just too happy to assist in whichever way they can. For the aim is to lose the stress out of our systems and find that peace, because stress stands in the way of peace.
That was very interesting because it seems like you were blessed that you were endowed with the gift to give these instructions to people. And if it's something that you can teach somebody else.
I am not blessed only, my brother. You too are blessed. One difference only. I might have recognized the blessing and you may have not recognized it yet. But you will. That's assured. For consciously or unconsciously, everyone is proceeding to our Maker all the time. And I don't teach of any religion. If you are a Christian, I want you to become a better Christian. If you are a Muslim, become a better Muslim. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And if you're a Hindu, become a better Hindu. In other words, we want to become better human beings. And when we become better human beings, through the process of self-integration, throwing off all the stresses and strains, we come closer and closer to God. One minister was stopped by the traffic police for speeding. Because naturally, everyone starts arguing when the traffic cops stop, and they deny that I've not been speeding. So I don't see any radar system around here or any speed traps around here. How can you say I was speeding? So the traffic policeman says that you see that helicopter up there, that helicopter was timing you. So the minister replies, oh well, I accept everything that comes from up there. I think that you see, this one chap was in deep debt. You know, he owed this firm a lot of money. And before suing him in court and trying to have him arrested or whatever, I don't know the laws of your country. So this firm wrote him many letters, please pay your debt. And yet he did not pay his debt. So in desperation, this firm, in very kind words, wrote to this debtor that you owe us this money for 11 months, and we feel that we have carried you longer than what your mother did. And then this other guy, he goes to a realtor, a real estate agent that sells houses, and says to this realtor that I want a house which is a mile away from the nearest neighbor. So this realtor was a meditator. So the immediate thought that struck in his mind was this: that this guy wants a quiet, private place so he can meditate. So the realtor asked, do you want this place far away for meditation? So this man, the customer, says, no, I wanted to practice the saxophone.
Guruji, I understand that an individual has to practice some form of your meditation a year before he can get the individualized instruction. Is that correct?
Not necessarily.
How quickly can that happen?
Male takes 3 to 4 weeks to reach South Africa, and it takes 3 to 4 weeks to return back, with another month going by in between. It takes about 3 months. But any of these brothers of mine, if they want to start to meditate, I'm on a 3-month tour of America. So I do not need to take those forms to South Africa to save time. And if any of these friends of ours want to learn to meditate, then they can be taught almost immediately. And those forms can be sent to me at my Chicago address, where I will be until the 9th of September. 9th of September. So they can be returned immediately.
Thank you.
Jeremy, 5 minutes. Do you want me 5 minutes? I think there was 1 minute question on here.
Yeah, you said that the past, it doesn't matter no more. We shouldn't, be attached to the past. Okay, what I want to say is that, okay, but you also said that the present, is always now. But it seems to me that, at the present, at the past, it was the present too. So if the present is always now, then I can't see where that the past should be separated.
You spoke to me now. When did you speak to me? In the present?
The present.
No, it's past already.
But at the point that I was speaking.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. That the past always creeps up in the mind. It always creeps up in the mind, and living through those memories of the past, we feel the suffering in the present. So through spiritual and meditational practices, we can become non-attached to the past and not allow it to affect us.
See, but I know that the present, from the past, I know something, it has to be eliminated, but you got to also, understand that, some of the things, which, we referring to the past, it's up to now,
Yes, it leads you to your present circumstance. The point we are trying to examine is this, that after you have been led to the present circumstance, what is it going to help? Digging up the past. Now that is what psychologists do. They go into the past and try and find causes. They churn up the dirt. Now, our yogic system is different. The psychologist goes from outside in, while we go from inside out. If it is dark in this room, what would it help you to analyze the darkness? Switch on the light. and this light can be switched on through a systematic process of meditation. Yes, sir.
So does a man think in his heart, as he is, the same night?
Would you, I didn't get the...
So it's a man thinking.
I said, so does a man think in his heart, so is he, right?
And funny enough, so as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is, has a little error there. The heart does not think. This little brain box here does all the thinking.
But it functions
The
together.
heart feels.
It functions with.
And when we say heart, we mean the core
So when a
of
man-
the human personality.
Well,
And the core of the human personality
What
is
you're
always
saying is coming
filled
from
with
your
joy.
heart. What I'm saying is, what you're saying is coming from your heart.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm speaking.
yeah, that is
So it, that goes with the thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think. I don't think. I just flow from inside. I put the mind one side.
So you feel what you say. in other words.
I talk from experience, not from books. It's been such a pleasure being with all of you. So nice to meet you. And really, take this from me as a surety that there's such a beautiful glow on each and every face. It is uplifting. There is a glow. Why? Because we have been associating ourselves now with that which is good. So this radiance must come about.